Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, January 23rd. It is 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, let's get all right, looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. There. One last place. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here on the daily chart. Then going down to the 8 hour, going down to the 4 hour, going down to the 2 hour, down to the 1 hour, down to the 30 minute, down to the 15 minute, down to the 10 minute. And it looks like we are good to go. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity kind of sitting in both directions. So price is kind of been consolidating for a while. With where price is currently at right here, you can see the closest level of liquidity is going to be down below at 38,118. The closest level above is going to be at 38,181. So this is going to be the first level for a sell. This might get hit pre-market, might not. We'll have that marked up there. And then we have the upper level right here. So we got liquidity marked up right there. Here's our clean chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up 6:30. 6:30, 8 o'clock. Go on the higher time frame, 4 hour real quick, see if there's any structure. Structure right there. Structure right there, going down to the 1 hour. Structure right there. So price is currently bouncing off the 1 hour support over here. Our support level. So yeah, price is currently bouncing off the 1 hour support. We'll see where this goes here on open. I think we had news this morning. So we had news over here at 5:55. That's pretty much it. And then news at 7. So 5:55, which was right here. and 7 o'clock. So again, 5:55 and 7. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at technicals. So 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute are all bearish. Let's look at the 5 minute real quick. Looks like it's pretty much in bearish all London sessions. So if anything, price may continue dropping. I mean, we'll see what happens, but for the most part, that's kind of what it looks like here on the shorter time frames. So if that's the case, then if there's more liquidity down here that builds up on the 1 minute, that's something that you can probably look for. So we'll look at that later. But other than that, everything looks fine. Looking up here at retail sentiment is currently 77% short. This indicates that 77% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. That's going to be retail sentiment. Looking over here at the fundamentals. The fundamentals over here are currently neutral right now. There's 60 points in the red, but they can easily shift. And that's pretty much it. So there's not too much of a bias today right now at this very moment. But here goes the opening candle. Go to that blue. So we got that there. Price is pushing up a bit heavy right here, but you want to be careful. Price is pushing up to the sessions. There's no surprise price is pushing up because you can see it's projecting directly off the 1 hour support level, just like the market pure pre-market, right? No surprise. It's kind of what we expected. But again, we're not going to chase this. So price is right at the sessions right there. And we will continue looking for direction. So the first thing I look for is typically a V1 pattern, right? I look for a V1 pattern because that's going to be my confluence. And then once I have that confluence, I'll be looking for another setup to follow. So again, we're just going to be waiting. It's just a waiting game, guys. Nothing, there's no need to force anything here. And just like I mentioned yesterday, just going to chill out and wait. Edward said he's in short in US30. Oh man, hopefully you're still in the trade, Edward, because it was at that 1 hour support, so it would have been really tricky to be in a short position at at this specific time right here on open. Because it's like right at the 1 hour support. Not to say that it's not going to come down, because I do think price will come down. It's just that wasn't a good area for that I'd say to be in because it was at the 1 hour support. I would be okay with taking it if like price was below the 1 hour support. So what I'd look for here myself personally is I'd probably look for price to break through here, and then I'll look for some sells, right? I wouldn't necessarily look for sells right here specifically because it's at the 1 hour support. And if you look over here, it's like a double bottom type area, right? So hopefully you're still in the position. Hopefully you're not in the drawdown because I do think price will come down. It's just going to be a matter of time until it does. And you can see right here, it is starting to come down. This right here is going to be a V1 pattern that we were looking for. So if I see a breakout V3 continuation, I'll be looking to take that. So we don't have a sell signal yet, but that's kind of what we're waiting for here. Morning, David. Morning, Kevin, Daniel, Nikki, Johnny, everyone. Let's see, Nick said still short, 2 pre-market, V3 continuations just hit, full push to the TP. Nice. So we have a possible V3 continuation setting up right here, guys. I just want to make sure they can't, never mind. It's going to be right at the session. So unfortunately, this is a setup that we're looking for, but not one that we can really take because it's going to be like literally at the sessions. Yeah, it's right at the session. So I'm not going to take this trade, guys. This is a red flag for me. We will be waiting for the next one here. I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not going to take it. This is an area of manipulation, as you guys know. This green line right here is going to be the sessions. So I'm definitely not going to mess with it here. I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take it. There's a lot of sessions down here, actually. So we got the green sessions right there and the red one below. The tricky candle, so it looks like it might not even close. Yep, so it didn't close. There was no breakout V3 continuation there. That candle did not close red. There's now, so this is pretty tricky. There's V1s on both sides. So I think price is probably going to range here for a bit. Not really going to look for new buys here. This might set up for a V1 variation to the upside if price does swing back up because price is ranging back and forth. I'll most likely be looking for some more sells. So, all right, this is a little tricky because we do have, you guys can see there's V1s on both sides and there's a higher high and a lower low. So this is pretty much support resistance established on the 1 minute. And price is just probably going to go back and forth here unless it drops even further. But at the moment, we'll see. So here's our clean chart. It's pretty messy, but I mean, realistically, if you were to draw this here, this is technically the 1 minute resistance. So it's pretty much created a range between the 1 minute resistance level and the 1 hour support level. So this is our clean chart. And price is pretty much just going back and forth between the 1 minute resistance and the 1 hour support. Let's see, Daniel said, hopefully it drops past sessions. We have some room. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Looking for it to drop past the 1 hour support, which is also going to be the sessions. As you can see right there, they pretty much line up with each other. The New York low right here is going to line up with the 1 hour support. So we just want price to continue dropping. And we can possibly look for some entries here. It's a little messy, but this is kind of expected. See, there's no news today. Not really. There's low impact news, not super high impact. Tomorrow we have some high impact news at 6:45. We have global services PMI. It's inflation news. What else do we have? Wednesday we have durable goods orders, durable good orders month over month, GDP growth rate, goods trades balance. There's a lot of news on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be the day with the heavy news, and Friday. Thursday and Friday. It's basically consumer sentiment. So a lot of consumer news, personal spending, durable goods, etc. And some inflation news tomorrow as well. Exactly. And C6 said happy Trap Tuesday. I always forget that it's Trap Tuesday. So with these traps being set up, it's not really a surprise because it is Trap Tuesday, as most of you guys know. You know, every Tuesday we kind of get some weird movement like this, and that's typical for an average Trap Tuesday. So last week kind of threw me off a bit because of the holiday. You know, I had the days all screwed up, but this is our first regular week so far, and today is Trap Tuesday. So there's no low here, so there's no V1 variation pattern that's coming up. You need to have a new high before you can establish a low. So at this moment right here, there's not really much for us to work with. I mean, price is just right here at this low. It's probably going to keep dropping. It looks like that's what's going to happen here. It looks like price is going to drop to the sessions. That's where it's trying to reach. It hasn't reached it yet, but it's almost there. And there you go. Price is now at the sessions, which is also the 1 hour resistance, 1 hour support level. So it broke right past it, and then it's coming right back up. So it's establishing a new low right here. Yeah, next day Trap Tuesday, wacky Wednesday, and Mondays are iffy. So our Fridays only leaves Thursday for trades. Well, I mean, it's pretty much historical data. And whether you believe it or not, Tuesdays are always like this. If you could look back at every single Tuesday and it's like this. Tuesday is probably the only one that's actually, I feel like people made up other days, like Wacky Wednesday was something that's kind of just made up. But Trap Tuesday has always been like, there's been a lot of traps being set up, like a lot of fake outs, and it's historical. It's just typically how it is. Yeah, Tuesday is fine. Mondays and Fridays are fine too. They're just days to be more cautious, but they're not days to avoid trades. We usually have a lot of trades on Monday or a lot of trades on Friday. So like if we don't have any trades on Monday, we typically have a lot on Friday. If we have a lot on Monday, we typically don't have any on Friday. Yeah. Wednesdays is probably not the real, like, I don't know. We kind of just joke around about that, but Wednesday used to be the good day though. So when we used to trade Forex, Wednesday was the day where like everything kind of stabilized because it was like 2 days into the week, 2 days out. Um, and it was fine, but I don't know, lately the market's just been kind of different. You know, when you first started trading, like what was it, like 7, 8 years ago, the market was totally different from how it is now. Now there's just every day is kind of tricky. But Tuesdays are usually the days where it's like you really want to be careful for traps. I think if you look at my historical data, a lot of my losses happen on Tuesday too. Yeah, exactly, Nick. I agree with you 100%. So Nick said it seems like either a good Monday or a good Friday. It's like, or if it's NFP week, maybe both will be no good. Yeah. For NFP, either both will be no good or both will be good. So that's the only caveat to, these days. But you guys can see, I mean, it's pretty clear on Tuesday. You can see how this just price is going back and forth super heavily. It's basically trapping people on both sides, trapping people chasing a buy, trapping people chasing a sell. And the thing that I noticed too is that on Tuesdays, the sessions are always like kind of like they're not bunched up in one area, but they're kind of spread out. So it's always hard to catch entries because whenever you do have an entry, it lines up right at the sessions. So, all right, we have nothing here yet. We have price kind of coming right back down further. This is where we expected price to go anyway. So if you guys remember earlier, I marked up liquidity, and I said if you're looking for a sell here, like mark up lower liquidities, you can see here all levels of liquidity got hit. This level got hit. This level got hit. Um, this level got hit, and the other ones are still technically running. So pretty much all these lower levels of liquidity have already gotten hit, and they are pushing through. It's having trouble establishing a new low. This might be the new low, but we'll see. If it establishes, I'll draw the structure, but if not, I'm just gonna hold off. It's rejecting directly off the sessions right here. New York low right there. Let's see. Kenny's asking, is anyone else's FTMO quick trade manager messed up? Mine looks fine on my end. I'm not sure if anybody else is having issues. All right, so price jumped again right here. As you guys can see, it's trying to drop to the next sessions right here. So you can see how price got manipulated right here. Price came down to the sessions, kind of went back and forth for a huge whipsaw. And then now it's coming down to this level to do the same thing. Either way, there's no V1 variations here, so there's nothing for me to take here. I'm just patiently waiting for these V1 patterns to come up so that I can look for that reversal and then look for the continuation in that direction. So just waiting. Yeah, Johnny said his is fine too. You might want to take it off, Kenny, and then put it back on. That might fix it. See, C6 sessions are a godsend for Trap Tuesdays. It proves it's not a day not to be messing around when the price is not clear from it. Yeah, exactly. You guys can see how helpful these sessions are, especially on Trap Tuesday. You can see how price gets up to this Asia low right here, fakes out, comes right back down, comes down to this New York low right here, fakes out, comes right back up, comes down to this London low right here, fakes out, and comes right back up. So you guys can see these areas are just not areas to trade in. I mean, you can get pretty much wiped out in either direction. You can take a buy here, get wiped out to the bottom. You can even take a sell here, get wiped out to the top. Unless like your stop loss is super wide. Right? I guess it doesn't have to be super wide. The market's not extremely volatile right now. If your stop loss is wide enough, you could probably withstand any fake outs that happen. But for the most part, it's kind of tricky right here. All right, cool, Kenny. Yeah, I figured that would fix it. All right, guys, we are waiting. So there's nothing for us to take here yet. Again, just waiting for something here to come up. I'm basically just looking for a V1 pattern. Once I see that V1 pattern, I'll start looking for the continuation. I just hit back to open. A V1 pattern off the previous high would be nice. Yeah, no, definitely. It's just in such an area. It's an area that we don't really want to trade in. So it's kind of hard to trade in between these areas here. Because if you measure like how far price is, so like for example, right here from basically, well, you could trade within this area right here. This open area is pretty decent. It's not huge, but it's decent. It's 500, it's 57 points. So you can technically catch like 100 pips anywhere in between this area. This area here is too tight. It's like it's 30 points. So you're not really going to catch any trades over here. I think our best bet is probably going to being able to catch a trade in between these two sessions right here, because it'll probably go back to open and we can probably get like a small push here. So what I want to see happen here is I want to see price range back up, provide a V1 pattern right here, and then come back down, right? So if we can get that, some structure right here, we can take this for a sell if we get a V1 pattern right here, right? That's going to be probably best case scenario. Second scenario is price drops down further and we get a breakout V3 continuation down here. So basically a win-win. That's kind of the pattern that I'm looking for here, right? I want price to push up, so we got some space. Once you have some space, I want it to get close to the sessions, not exactly touching it, but I want it to get close, provide a V1 variation pattern right here, come back down, retrace, reject off that same V1 pattern, have a double top, and then come down for a full TP. If we don't get this here, say we don't get a V1 pattern here, but we get a V1 pattern right here. If we get a breakout V3 continuation, then I'll be looking for this to come down and hit our TP from there. So it's just a waiting game. Eventually it's going to happen. It's just really waiting for that setup to come to you. We have news over here at 7 o'clock. So hopefully when the news happens, that'll probably push price around. Again, if you guys are new here and you guys want to learn these strategies, so if you guys are not familiar with the V1 variation, or you're not familiar with the breakout V3 continuation, which are the two main official strategies that we apply in this live session, just go to our website. Go to our website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. Once you click on that, it'll give you access to the course. This is what the course looks like. And if you guys want to learn those strategies, go down right here to module 4, main strategies. The first one's going to be the momentum pullback scalp. This is one that a lot of people like applying. It's not one of the official strategies because we don't want to confuse people. The main two that we're following are going to be the 4.1 module, breakout V3 continuation, and the V1 variation module 4.2. So 4.1, 4.2 will explain the setup that I just drew right here. So this whole setup right here that I drew for you guys, these two strategies are explained in the course. The course is completely free. The only difference is that you won't have access to these indicators. So you can still follow on the live session, but you just won't be able to do it yourself, which, fair enough. You can still get a lot done with that there. But again, there's nothing here. So we are going to continue waiting for this here to play through. Once we get that pattern, we can start looking for entry. And then once we have that entry, hopefully we'll have a follow-up with, another entry right after. You can see price here is kind of dying down a bit. You can see it's just consolidating. 648 right now, about 12 minutes till news. So if anything, price might just consolidate here until news happens, and then it'll maybe choose its direction as price continues to obviously move along. Another reminder, guys, if you guys want access to the mentorship incubator for 2024, I typically only mentor like once a year. I did it last year. We had a lot of people who succeeded from that and did really well. This year we're doing it again, but this is more of a hands-on training where I'm going to be meeting with you guys every single day. So if you guys want to attend that, or if you guys want to participate in it, just make sure that you guys fill out the application. I'll put the application in the Discord again. All right, so here's the application for the for the mentorship incubator. I'm only choosing a handful of people, so it's limited. Whoever, it's mainly going to be on first come, first serve. But, even if you guys are just having, um, if you guys are on the fence about whether you want to do it or not, just fill out the application and then I'll let you know if like you might get chosen or not. We're going to make exceptions for certain people, especially people who've been in the group for a while. But it is open to the public as well. So if you have friends or family that want to do it, um, it's not for beginners, but it can be. As long as they know how to use a computer, they know how to install TradingView, they know how to install whatever platform that you need to trade, that's fine because that's all they really need to know. They don't really need to know much. It's just I can't take time to teach people how to install Discord or install Zoom or turn on their computer and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But all right, guys, there's nothing for us to take here still. Price is kind of just ranging and consolidating where the session is right here at the New York low. There's been a pending buy signal here for a while. It just hasn't came up yet. I'm hoping this buy signal comes up. It pushes price up higher. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to see this come down. I just want to see it come down because we have a sell. Our trend is bearish right now. So I'm looking for sells. I'm going to be following the trend because if you remember from last week, we took a trade that was against the trend. It kind of backfired on us. So I'm going to be looking for trades mainly in the direction of the trend. Let's take a look at retail sentiment real quick. Retail sentiment is currently 76% short. So it's kind of just sitting around that area. There's not too much really happening here. It's kind of just sitting there. I'm kind of testing something new here as well, guys. All right, so this is just confirmation that there's no direction right now. Because typically the VIX moves opposite of US30 or YM, whatever you want to call it. And there isn't really much happening here. All right, so this just confirms that there's nothing going on in the market. I'll just have that as a confluence on the side just to look. I'm testing a couple of things, some divergent stuff. And it's another good confluence to have for us here on the live session, at least. I know, right? It happens almost every day if you want to backtest it. You just want to look for the cross. So basically I'm looking for these to do the opposite. Once I see these do the opposite, so if I see YM go up, and then I see this go heavily down, then it's probably going to keep moving in that direction, or vice versa. This is kind of what I prefer to see. I'd rather see YM go up, and then I would like to see this go up, and then I want to see YM come back down. And once they go opposite like that, then I'm going to start taking sells like heavy on YM because these are supposed to go opposite. If you ever look at VIX and YM, you have to like really pay attention to it though. This is more of an advanced way of trading. This is not going to make sense to a lot of people. It barely makes sense to me, but I've been testing it all last night and it works very well. So that's just another confluence. Like right here, we can see prices just ranging, going sideways. I'm looking over here at these, which are supposed to move opposite of each other. And they're both going the same direction. So if they're going the same direction, there's just no volatility in the market. If you guys are not familiar with VIX, VIX is the volatility index. So yeah, C6 said like this better than the 1 second time frame. I mean, let's see the 1 second. Let's see if we see anything there. I haven't really looked at it. Whoops. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference, right? It's the same thing. They're both bearish. But you're right. I mean, it actually works. You see, so like you can see over here, these start to shift right here on the 1 second. This is like at 642, but you can't really catch much. I mean, you can catch like 100 pips, I guess. Technically, you can, but it's like you said, heart attack mode, right? It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, but realistically, if you really wanted to catch, now there's not enough volatility here. I wouldn't really mess with the 1 second. The 1 second's way. I mean, you can technically take it, but it would take a long time for you to hit a lot of these trades. Like they don't even hit 100 pips a lot of these times. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the 1 minute. There's so many there's so much room for error if you're to trade on the 1 second time frame. I just came across some guy who trades like that. He trades like us, but he trades a little differently. He trades on the 1 second, which I think is pretty crazy. I was reading the comments and it's just funny how people are just like, is this guy serious? And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. He's like really serious about it. He's profitable. It's just, and he also trades something else. He doesn't trade like futures, so it's slightly different. It's definitely different. Thanks, Maddie. So we have a V1 body right here, double body. Nice work on identifying that, Maddie. But it's like right at the session. So, and it's right at news too. So we do have the V1 variation pattern right here. Um, we have a sell signal that's currently pending right there. I mean, I guess it would be enough space if it actually pushed down. There's another V1 pattern right here, Maddie. It's basically, okay, so we got two V1 patterns. It's like straight consolidation right there. It's just going to go sideways till the news, guys. So there's nothing for us to take here. There's no worries. We'll just continue waiting for this here to play through. Once it plays through, then well, it just needs to push out of this area. This area right here is not a good area to be trading at all in general. Yeah, two V1s back to back. Maddie said we might get a nice news entry. Sisuk said you'd have to really work on this skill. Yeah, no, exactly. Let's see. Adam said, shouldn't you be looking at the Dow volatility index? I mean, possibly. I haven't really looked at it. I'm just kind of playing around with it. Like I'm looking at different assets that would I don't even know so what would the Dow volatility index be? NM? Like what's the symbol for it? I didn't even know there was a Dow volatility index. I know VIX in general. I already know what VIX was to begin with because people trade VIX on its own, but I didn't know if they had a Dow one. If you know the symbol, if you want to let us know, because the only volatility index I see here is okay, XVD. Thanks. I didn't even know that was there. BXD actually. I don't think this would be helpful for us, yeah, because it's not really I mean just looking at the candles here, I don't think it would work the same. So so yeah, let me just give you some insight of like so the way that and this is different. So typically what the way that I saw other people apply this was whenever you see YM start to shift, people would enter trades for S&P. So I was kind of doing the opposite, right? I was doing opposite in the situation where I was looking for this to change and then this to follow. So, I mean, technically the other way around works better. I guess we can trade ES if we really wanted to. So like, for example, because YM is the faster asset. So this will typically move first. And then when this moves first, the VIX will follow, right? So I think here, like, for example, if you were to see this shift to the upside, then you can take buys off VIX, because the VIX, um, typically goes in the it typically follows. So you can kind of see over here, like, so this one over here started to shift over, and then the VIX was already shifting over too. But I mean, it's something that I'm testing, so I'll let you guys know like once I figure some stuff out. I kind of have an idea of like what I'm looking for. I'm looking for divergence between these two, but it's not something easy. Like it's not something that I can teach a beginner to do because you have to really be focusing on the chart and you can't miss the entry time. Because if you miss the entry time, then it usually is broken out by then. But yeah, thanks for letting me know about the Dow Volatility Index. I didn't even know that was there. But it's not really usable as you guys can see from the candles. So it's all good. I probably have to buy better data for it. Anyways, guys, we have news right here in about 5 seconds. It's low impact news, but hopefully it pushes price in a direction so we can start looking for, possible entries here. All right, so we have the news candle right here. I'm going to mark this up to clean it up a bit. News candle right there. News candle right there. Thanks, Maddie. News is positive, so price is going in the direction that it's supposed to. It was a bit mixed. So for Fed Services Index, it was positive. Fed Manufacturing Index negative. Fed Manufacturing Shipments positive. So they're all low pack news. Not really much to move the market, but it was a bit of a mixed bag. Okay, so at this point here, I'm fine if price shifts to the upside. The only problem here that you guys want to focus on is that the trend is starting to shift too. So if the trend starts to shift to the upside, then we'll start looking for some buys. I don't really care where price goes. Price can go up and we'll look for some buys, right? Price can go down. We can look for some sells. I don't really care. Price can go in either direction. I just want price to move out of this area here. And then we can start looking for some possible entries. Let's see, breaking news from CNBC. Let's see, Maddie sent me a link. Dow slips Tuesday after hitting record highs. Okay, so this news just came out right here at 7 o'clock. Thanks, Maddie. And with that said, we might see price push up even higher because typically market does the opposite, right? So don't let that fool you. I mean, we never do because we already know. And we'll probably see price maybe push, hopefully push in some sort of direction. The ATR is very, very low today. It's currently at 14 ATR. Typically, you want it at least 15 because you want some volatility to push in either direction. Doesn't really matter what direction, but you want some sort of push. But again, we're just gonna wait. There's nothing for us here to take. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Another reminder, guys. So a lot of people are asking if I can lower the entry point for the indicators and the strategies. If you guys want to test out the strategies for a week, you guys can sign up for a week access now. You just need to go on the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on Kodi Kai Trading Strategies right here. And then you can see that there's a weekly pricing now. So if you just want to try it out, typically what happens with a lot of people is like they're not sure about it, right? They're on the fence. They don't want to commit to a whole month. So if you want to commit to a week, you can commit to a week, see if it's for you. I think you guys will like it a lot because it's not only usable for my strategies. A lot of people use it for their own strategies, especially the sessions. I think the sessions here are one of the biggest tools that a lot of people use because this prevents you from getting caught in a lot of these areas where fake outs happen. So yeah, this here is, I mean, that's probably I think the biggest, all the tools that I have here on the chart are the tools that majority of people use, even if they're not using my strategies. People like using the pivots to identify the trend meter to identify the trend, sessions to identify areas not to trade, and then obviously momentum to identify entry points. So yeah, Camo said I'll be getting it for the sessions. Wish I could buy it alone. Yeah, the sessions is crazy. Like it helps a lot, right? Camo, I think he's up like so much profit in his with his strategy, just knowing where not to trade because he's avoiding losses completely now, which is huge. All right, so we got a sell signal right here. There's no V1 pattern, so unfortunately, there's no entry for us. We just gotta wait for that setup to happen. If this does close with the sell signal, this might be setting up for a breakout V3 continuation. Like I mentioned before, guys, it's not one that I would personally take because I'm looking for the confluence. But if it does come up, I'll mark it up for you guys so that you guys can follow it and take it in that direction. There was actually a breakout V3 continuation that happened right here as well in the opposite direction of the trend. It was a buy signal with the green candle. Entry would have happened right here. And as you can see, it hit full TP. So I don't know if anybody caught that. I wouldn't go against the trend like that. Also, is that news? But it was a breakout V3 continuation. So we have a sell signal right here. It's right at the sessions. Possible breakout V3 continuation to the downside. I'm not going to take this trade again, like I mentioned. If you guys want to take it, this candle would have to close red. It's touching the sessions right here, so I wouldn't take it. That's like one of the biggest red flags for me. I think every time we lose a trade is only because it's touching the session. So I personally wouldn't take it. But if you guys do want to take it, I'll mark it up here for you guys to follow. Let's see, Ender's asking, CNBC stock is mostly red. Do you still watch that, Sean, or do you take that into consideration? So we do look at that, but we look at it differently now. So instead of looking at the list doesn't really matter because you can just look at the overall. If this number is negative 100 and it's consistently negative 100, then we use that to identify bearish fundamentals. Right now it's at 92 points, so it's not very bearish. It's bearish, but it's not very bearish because it can easily shift from 91 to back into the positive, right? So we still use it, but we don't necessarily look at that whole list anymore. It's kind of pointless. This here is better because it's a whole it's like the whole number of like what everything's added up to. So I think just because it's all red isn't necessarily the selling point. It's really identifying how strong is it for a sell. So whenever it's above 100 points, so if it's green 100 points and it's above 100 for a while, then you probably want to look for some buys. Same with it being some sells. So you just want to look for the key number, which is 100 points, because that's gonna pretty much indicate that okay, this is bearish or that's bullish. So there's no entry here, guys. You guys can see there was a sell signal. There's no red candle after it, so there's no breakout V3 continuation. As you guys can see, price has pretty much been going back and forth right here. No direction. No direction and no entry. I'm waiting for price to either push above so I can start looking for some buys, or I'm looking for price to push below so that I can start looking for sells. It doesn't matter which direction price goes. I'm going to be trading in the direction of the trend, right? Trend right now is pretty much bearish across the lower time frames. You can see over here on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10-minute time frames, price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. So obviously we want to be looking for some sells here, but this can easily shift at the last second, right? So you don't want to just take sells at any point. You want to make sure that there's some sort of entry there or some sort of analysis telling you to take these sells. The other big problem is that it's right at the sessions. And you can see that price has pretty much been stuck at these sessions, which has been acting like a magnet for basically the past 30 minutes now. Yep, since market open right here at 6:30, we had that huge spike up, huge spike down, and then price has pretty much been consolidating within this area for the past 30 minutes. So just sit tight, guys. Like I mentioned, grab your popcorn and you got to wait this out. There's nothing for us to take here. Nick, I just saw your message. Yeah, I mean, if you guys were here that day, that was a pretty funny day. We had two people pooping on the live session. Oh man, that's funny. Nick is asking, or sorry, not Nick. Edward is asking, how many lots do you take when you are trading? On Apex, I'm taking a 10 contract, which is a 1% risk. And then on FTMO and MT4 accounts, I'm taking on my 200Ks, I'm taking a 200 lot. And then on my 100Ks, I'm taking a 100 lot, which is half. That's about a 1.5% risk. So I'm only risking about 1% to 1.5% per trade. Um, and it's all based off your TP stop loss. Like if your TP stop loss is different, Edward, then your risk is going to be different. My risk is always going to be around 300 pitch stop loss. So with that lot size and that tight stop loss, I'm able to use that kind of risk. It's 1% risk regardless. I mean, you just got to calculate the risk by percentage points. Whatever calculates to 1% risk is typically what's recommended for a funding company, right? For a funding company, that's recommended on my personal accounts, not on these live sessions, but on my personal accounts with like Forex. I'm risking like 3 to 5% per trade because they're swing trades, they're daily trades. So those trades will run for like a couple of days, and I'm risking like 3 to 5%. That's different. Um, but yeah, for these here specifically, I'm risking about 1% per trade, 1 to 2% around there. Basically 1 to 1.5. All right, still nothing here. Ender is asking Apex, does the trailing drawdown ever go above 2,500, for example, on a 50K count, like it did for FTMO? So Apex and FTMO are completely different, Ender. I don't understand your question as much because the trailing drawdown is like way different. Um, I don't know if you want to reword it. It kind of just doesn't make sense to me because you're asking, does the trailing drawdown ever go above 2,500? Do you mean like so you could have like a bigger drawdown? If that's your question, then yes, it does. So like say for example, but it's only when you're funded. It's not when you're doing your challenge phase. So the rules kind of change a little bit once you're funded. So once you're funded, say for example, your trailing drawdown for me is 5,000, right? So if I have a 150K count and I go up to 155,000, then my trailing drawdown stops following. Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah. Um, sorry, I just got confused with your question because it was slightly different from what I was understanding. But yeah, so when you're in your challenge phase, it doesn't stop. But when you're funded or you're in a PA account, it stops. So yeah, on a 50K count, if your drawdown was 2,500, once you get to 52,500, then your drawdown would stop and then you could have a bigger cushion. So it's kind of different with Apex. So like with Apex, you can only withdraw a certain amount of profit anyways. So within your first couple months, I think your first 3 months with Apex, they kind of limit your withdrawal and then you set a cushion for you there. So you basically have like double drawdown at that point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vimal said no drawdown after target level. Exactly. I know it's kind of confusing, but once you like actually do it and you get to that point, it makes a lot of sense. Basically, what Apex is doing is they're being super strict so that you don't take YOLO trades, right? I feel like with FTMO and a lot of these other Forex funding companies, they want you to YOLO. They want you to like pass in a day and they want you to like take these crazy trades where you get lucky when you pass, but then when you actually get funded, you just blow the account, right? With Apex, they want you to have consistency. So they want you to like consistently grow the account during the challenge phase. And then once you're funded, they want you to consistently grow so you have a cushion. And then you just have, discipline and consistency with your trading. So like I mentioned, guys, that's basically what I'm going to be instilling into you guys who are participating in the mentorship, right? My main goal during this mentorship, and let's go back to the charts real quick. There's no entries here, guys. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. So I'm not really going off topic here. But there's just nothing for us to take here. There's no V1 patterns. Price is still going back and forth. You can't really see it here very well. But if you go over here to our clean chart, you guys can see it's pretty obvious right here that there's nothing going on. Let me draw some more structure here so that you guys have a better idea. And there you go, guys. There is nothing going on here. So for the mentoring program that I mentioned to you guys, the the whole goal of the mentoring program is to help the members in here who are either not consistent. I mean, that's really what it is. It's whoever's not consistent, right? Because you'll see a lot of people who can pass the challenge, and then once they get funded, they blow the account, right? Or they'll get close to passing a challenge, and then as soon as they get to that very last push, they just blow the account. My goal with this mentorship is to basically force you guys to take only two strategies, which is what we're doing here in the live session. You can see there's a lot of entries that have came up. Again, right here, there's another breakout V3 continuation that came up for a buy. I didn't take the trade, of course. There's a lot of trades that are coming up, but I'm avoiding these trades here because they don't meet my criteria. So with the mentoring program, I'm basically forcing you to trade exactly how I am, right? Being able to be calm and composed during like these types of market conditions. Like the market's pretty crazy right now. It's been moving crazy since open, and it's been going back and forth. And I'm not here feeling the need to hop into any trades, right? I don't have any FOMO. I don't have the idea of wanting to revenge trade or to just jump into random trades. So that's kind of what I'm teaching people during the mentorship. I'm teaching you to focus on just two strategies, and that's about it. You know, you focus on two strategies, you get one or two good entries a day, and then those entries add up. So, you know, if you were to do the math here, so if you were to do the math, and depending on what account you're on, like for example, if I'm trading FTMO, I'm making about 2,000 per trade, right? If I can take one or two good trades a day, say just one good trade, we'll be conservative. One good trade, 2,000 times 5, that's 10,000 profit for the week, right? Times 4, that's 40,000 for the month. Times 12, that's 480,000 for the year. This is one 200K FTMO account. If you can just focus on taking one good trade every single day, you know, there's a lot of trades that'll come up, but if you can stick to just one good trade, this is what's possible. Same with Apex, right? With Apex, you can have like 20 accounts. So for my 150K account, each Apex account, I'm going to be locking in 500 profit, right? With a 10 contract size, very conservative, 1% risk. I'll make 500 per trade times 20 accounts. I can make 10,000 per day trading just Apex, right? So you guys just have to break down the numbers. And that's just my goal. It's my goal is to get you guys on that level where you're not FOMOing into trades, you're not taking random entries. You're kind of just waiting for the entries to come to you. It's like fishing. But I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of people is they don't have the patience to just wait for that entry to come to them. So that's the game plan for the mentorship. That's why I'm like telling you guys, if you guys are on the fence about whether you want to participate in the mentorship, basically this mentorship is going to, if you follow the directions and you follow my guide, during the next 3 months, you're gonna pass your challenge. Like there's no denying you're for sure gonna pass your challenge as long as you follow directions. You'll pass your challenge and you'll get funded and you'll get your payout. And that's kind of what a lot of people need too. They need to pass something and they need to be successful at something to really believe in it, right? So you know, if you do participate in the mentorship and you follow directions and you only take official trades, there's no denying that you should for sure pass your challenge. It might take a while, it'll take like a whole month. But you're gonna pass. And then the second month is gonna be really fine-tuning where you'll be in your funded phase. And then after that second month, the third month, you'll be making like some pretty good profit, getting payouts. And then by the end of the mentorship, you should be consistent, profitable, and you should be able to just repeat the process, you know, over and over again. So no entry here, guys. There's a V1 pattern like Maddie mentioned, but it looks like it's going to push up higher. If this pushes up higher, like it just did right there, no more V1 pattern. So looks like the trend here is starting to shift, which is completely fine. What I want to see happen here now is I want price to kind of push up a little bit, maybe retrace, and then push up. At that point, I'll look for some buys here. Or if price pushes up further, I'll look for some buys up here, hopefully before I get to the sessions, right? So the trend is shifting, guys. You guys can see the pivots over here are starting to shift to the upside. Let's take a look at the VIX. This might be the shift to the upside. That we were waiting for. Nice, yeah. Nick said full TP on the B3 continuation to the upside. Took 5 ever, but it went through. So Nick actually took the B3 variation right here. breakout V3 variation, or sorry, breakout V3 continuation right here. It took a very long time for it to hit, but eventually it did hit. So if anybody took that trade, it took forever, but eventually it did hit. There's another one right here too that came up, buy signal with the green candle. You can see right there, it took a while, but it did eventually hit. So it looks like Rashida caught it, Nick caught it. It didn't meet my confluences, so it doesn't meet my criteria for that A+ setup. But it was a setup for anybody who was looking to take it. So yeah, Kenny said Apex sounds more realistic. Yeah, Apex is like I think Apex's model of funding is going to be what FTMO moves towards. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Apex. And then I'm just going to start trading with more futures brokers or futures funding companies. So I'll probably, once I'm maxed out with Apex, I'll move over to Top Step and I'll just add them to my copier. And then from there, I'll move on to there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of futures companies. Yeah, exactly. C6 said you get invited to a live account, it's a different world. Yeah. At that point, I'll be trading for like a legitimate prop firm type setup. Nice. Yeah, Daniel said Top Step, Apex, Bullnox. You can have 27 accounts. Yeah, that's the goal. So I'm kind of leaning away towards MT4 guys. I think MT4 is kind of going down the drain. Yeah, they're not gonna. If you're gonna trade MT4, it's only gonna be with regulated accounts, and it's not exactly going to be. It's not gonna be the same. So I'm kind of leaning away from MT4. I'm going more towards futures because we are located in the US. So obviously we want to trade something that's allowable in the US. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, right? MT4 was a fun ride. It was a fun ride. Like a lot of the unregulated brokers can't even use MT4 anymore. So I don't even have a personal broker that I can refer to you guys. I know some people use Coinex. If you guys remember Coinex, a lot of people use them back in. But here's the thing: if you start using those brokers, you don't know when your money's going to disappear, right? Because you don't know if they're going to get kicked off MT4 at some point, which they probably are. Because they're also unregulated. So yeah, it's just it's just a matter of time until everybody starts moving towards the future side for futures specifically. Because all I want to trade is YM anyways. So I need something where I can trade this. All right, so we're starting to get that shift to the upside, guys. The trend is starting to shift with it as well. So this is a good sign. At 722 right now, I'm waiting for some sort of confluence here to provide me opportunity for entry. Looking at this again, like I mentioned earlier, the VIX is starting to shift. The VIX is still dropping. And yeah, the Dow's starting to shift to the upside. I mean, I guess if that was the case, we could take a trade here for ES. Well, I mean, ES is starting to shift too. This would probably be a good time to take ES, but I mean, I'm not going to take it. Here, I'm just going to mark it up here. Let's see. I just want to follow it to see how it plays through. Do like a 30-30. No, 30-30 is way too far. Maybe a 20-20. I guess 20-20 could do. I'll come back and take a look at this later to see how it plays through. I'm not in a trade, but I'm kind of curious to see how this here plays through using the VIX with YM to identify structure and divergence. Yeah, exactly. Sisu said you called it when you first started trading with FTM, although you said take the money as much as you can because you never know. Yeah, back in 2019, guys, I mentioned that to you guys. When I first started using FTMO, a lot of people were asking if it's like trustworthy or if it's something that you should put all your eggs into one basket. And I mentioned to you guys, like, take the money take all the money that you can from these funding companies because you don't know how long they're going to last for. And that's pretty much what would happen at this point. So hopefully a lot of you guys follow what I mentioned because a lot of people are asking if I keep money in my funded accounts. I never keep money in my funded accounts. Whenever I get profit, I pull it out every single month because stuff like this will happen, right? With FTMO, where they just all of a sudden don't allow US clients. So same with Apex. With Apex, I'm not going to leave money sitting in there. I'm just going to take it out and then I'll probably be funding it into my personal account. So I'll probably open my own TradeAvate account. And I'll just copy my trades there too because I have my copier. So that's actually a good idea. I should start doing that now because I do have the copier already for NinjaTrader. So I think I'm going to open a personal TradeAvate account. All right, there goes the trap, guys. Yeah, Kevin said trap Tuesday, LOL. Yeah, same situation here again, guys. There may be a possible opportunity here, but as you guys can see from the trend, I'm probably going to sit out on any trade until we have a confirmed trend. Because the trend here is not really confirmed at all. It's just going sideways. You have the pivots over here crossing over each other. It's too much of a risk. Also, on top of that, it's right at the sessions. We do have a V1 pattern up here. So that's like one of the good things. The only problem here is that it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, Andrew said something is up with TFF too. All MT5 accounts are frozen right now. Dang, that's crazy. I don't know if anybody has an issue with TFF, guys. I'll have to well, when I take a trade, I'll know if there's something wrong with it. I don't know if there's anything wrong with it yet, but I'll know if there's something wrong when I take a trade if it does come up. So, not sure. Let's see. Kenny said ES has been up most of the morning. It might get a momentum push since the VIX is dropping hard. Yeah. And I agree too, Kenny. And there's another V1 pattern down here, guys. So we got a double V1 pattern. Randy said his TFF's fine. It might just be the MT5 platform, Andrew. Well, we'll see. I'm on MT4, so when the trade comes up, if I take it on my copier, I'll see if there is an issue with it. Randy's on MT5 as well, he said. I guess we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. We'll see what happens when I take my next trade, of course. Okay, this is actually a cool setup right here. This is a setup that I actually am okay with. What I'm looking for here is we have the sell signal, right? So I want price to come up a little bit. Don't give a buy signal yet. Establish the trend, come back down. Double V1 pattern right here, right? So I want to see a double bottom right here. We have a V1 right here. I want to see price push up a little bit. Don't give a buy signal though. Come back down. Give me another V1 pattern right here. And then take that up. It's kind of what I want to see. Or, I mean, if price climbs up higher, I'm okay with. So this is one setup. This is the first criteria that I'm looking for. If we get this, then great. I'll take that for a buy. However, if price just decides to climb up here, a bit heavier and it just keeps climbing, then I'm okay with this too, because we get a breakout V3 continuation right here. This is too early. I was hoping it wouldn't come up just yet. But it does look like the trend is shifting up. So if this does close, I think I'll probably take this here if it provides opportunity for entry. It's going to be right at opening price though, which is kind of tricky. Well, we'll see. We just got to give it some time. There's 30 seconds left on this candle. I don't even know if this candle is going to close with the buy signal. It might get that pending buy signal or maybe it'll come back down and do what I was anticipating. Got two setups. All 2 setups. 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 2 se And the market's been pretty whack for the past 2 weeks. Last week was pretty whack. This week's pretty whack. Was hoping we get something here, but all right, looks like it's just going to keep giving these pending buy signals again. 7:30 right now. So here's the thing that you guys want to really look at, the ATR, right? ATR is super low. Yeah, exactly. Randy just mentioned that too, looking at the same exact thing. The ATR is super low at 12 points, so you're going to get some consolidation here. So if I do take the trade, there may be a chance that I'll probably pull out of it early because if it just goes sideways for a while, which is exactly what's happening here, you don't want to get caught in the squeeze, right? Because if price just squeeze for a while, then you're just going to get caught in a lot of uncertainty, whether it breaks out to the upside or breaks out to the downside. So let's see if this here closes. I think this will just be a pending buy signal for a while. Probably go sideways for a while. Okay, so this is probably the fourth or fifth candle. We've been through this before. You guys have seen this before. This isn't something new, where you see this pending buy signal come up and it just keeps pending for like 20 minutes, right? That's weird. Yeah, so Andrew said that he can only close trades, but he can't open any trades, which is weird. Never seen that before. All right, price is coming back down. Let's see if we get that V1 variation pattern down here. This is pretty much what I was looking for earlier. All right, we might get that V1 variation pattern right here. So we got two lows rejecting off the structure. All right, if this candle here closes green, this is going to be our V1 variation. This is going to be an entry that I'll be looking to take. All right, now we just gotta wait. So it's not looking like it's in a close green. See if we get a lower V1 here. Nope. All right. Let's see if it rejects off the sessions. It might reject off the sessions right here. All right. That's actually better. I'd rather have it reject off the sessions. Because now it's rejecting off double structure. It's rejecting off the low, and it's also rejecting off the sessions right there. But unfortunately, there's not going to be an entry here. Yeah, it's touching the sessions. All right. So unfortunately, guys, yep, no entry. All right, it's all good. The good thing here is that we stuck to the game plan. So we didn't. Yeah, exactly. Nikki said FOMO testing day. That would have been a really nice entry though. So this did exactly what I was hoping was going to play through, but it didn't. It ended up pushing a little farther down. So it looks like we might be looking for sells here because the trend is starting to shift to the downside. You guys can see from the pivots right here. And we might start to look for sells at this point. All right, guys, back to step one. Look for that V1 pattern. So what I'm glad here is that the trade didn't come up and we didn't get caught in a fake out. I think that's probably the best thing here that happened because the thing is we could have gotten faked out right here, right? So we had this pattern here. If we had a buy signal come up, we could have gotten caught in a fake out and we would have been screwed. But the trade never came up. So again, like I mentioned, this is preventing you from getting into FOMO. It's preventing you from really getting into bad trades. You just have to stick to the game plan. So again, right here, we are now going to see what happens next. Let's see. Nick said we'll probably come back up. Trap Tuesday is really playing out today, exactly right. Well, this would have been a trap right here, Nick. If this closed with the buy signal, we would have been screwed up. Like this would have totally went straight to our stop loss. See how far did it come down from? Yeah, pretty much. So I'm pretty glad that the trade actually did come through, or that buy signal never closed. All right, so we got price coming back down. I mean, realistically, price has just been ranging the entire day. Let's go over here to the clean chart. You guys can see here, there hasn't been anything happening the entire day. Price has pretty much been consolidating down below, back above, down below, back above. Nothing for us to take here. All right, so price is starting to dump down further. And I hate this area. This area is just not a good area to trade in. I prefer to be above here than to be down here, because you guys can see that there's two sessions here. So you can't really do much in this area down here. Even if price was to retrace up, it's kind of a tricky area to trade in, because even if price comes down, it's going to be super tight, where you can look for entries. And here we go, as price drops lower. Rejecting off the sessions there. So you guys can see the sessions never touched on this level. It finally touched over here. So reach this target price point. Yeah, so Rashida says she has a fair value gap at 3810, 38,010. It's on a higher time frame. Let's see what you're looking at. Down here, huh? 3810. Let's see. Yeah, I can see this low point right here. So you're looking for price to come back down to this level right here, right? Basically this higher low there. I mean, if you're ready to use this as like liquidity, you could use this as liquidity too, Rashida. So like basically there's a bunch of liquidity right here. Well, it's already touched it. So there's liquidity right there, liquidity right there. Actually, I didn't even go and take a look at the liquidity chart. There's liquidity right there. So pretty much this is all liquidity. Price getting knocked down and hitting all that liquidity right there. I think I marked that up, or maybe not. Maybe I didn't get that far. No, I did. Okay, so there's liquidity right here. So you guys can see the liquidity down below is getting knocked out. It pretty much lines up with Rashida's analysis. So this is what I mean about like, strategies can overlap. Like you can be trading liquidity, you can be trading fair value gap, you can be trading supply and demand, you can trade a lot of things. It just depends on like what you want to use it for. So nice work, Rashida. Hopefully you caught some profit on that. I'm still waiting for my trade. Again, this is me showing you guys discipline, right? Like I see a bunch of entries coming up, and I'm not forcing any entries here. I'm just waiting for my entry to come up. I know it's 7:37 right now. It's getting closer to 8 o'clock. I still do have hope that my entry will come up, but if it doesn't come up, I'm not going to force any trades. I think this is the discipline that a lot of people need, right? Because the main thing with trading is not understanding how to win. You can get lucky and you can win a lot of trades. The real skill with trading is understanding when not to trade, because you don't want to be entering random trades and losing. So, it goes back to what I was talking about with Camel earlier. Camel had a good strategy that he was applying. It's just that he kept losing. So he was like a break-even trader. Now that he has, my analysis and my sessions that I've drawn up, he's able to avoid a lot of losses. So now the profits just stack up. So yeah, you gotta see things from a different perspective. I feel like a lot of people are so focused on making huge profits that they don't care about the losses. But then when the losses add up, they end up with no profits at the end of the day, right? So just gotta stick to the game plan. And I'm hoping we get one entry here. But again, not forcing any trades. All right, so what I need to happen here is I need price to push up slightly above. And then maybe something like this, an M pattern, right? Maybe an M pattern structure right there. And I can take that for a quick sell. 10 points. Or we can get this V1 pattern, price comes down, and I'll take this down here for a quick 10 points. I just got to make sure it's not too close to the sessions down below. So yeah, we just gotta wait. We have a V1 pattern right here. All right, so if price decides to drop lower from where it's currently at, that's fine too. We got the V1 pattern here, but I want price to be below the sessions. I'm only going to take a trade if it comes down here. All right. The V1 pattern hasn't closed yet. It's kind of tricky. I mean, it looks like a double body, but this is probably going to push through anyways. If this pushes higher, it's probably going to establish a higher high. Let's see. Kenny said there's a momentum pullback scalp that lines up with the V2 and V1 continuation. Right here for sell, Kenny. Yeah, so let's see. Price came down right here, retraced up. Level for entry would have been right here, but it's like right at the session. So I personally wouldn't have taken it, but yeah, it's just kind of tricky. Yeah, Maddie said today requires a lot more focus than usual. Lots of red flags in the momentum pullback scalp entry plus ATR is way below 15. Yeah, the ATR is like way too low right now. So that'd probably be the main thing that I'd be looking out uh, for as well. All right, so we still have opportunity here for a breakout V3 continuation. We have the double body. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we did see that double body. Actually, now I take that back. There's not going to be a breakout V3 continuation because we don't have a sell signal coming. The sell signal is up here. Oh, man. Yeah, I just realized that right now. So I was hoping that we'd get a sell signal here, and it's never going to come because you can't get two back-to-back sell signals. The retracement never happened. Yeah, we're not gonna get an entry here, guys. Not here, at least. It's pretty much doing the same thing it did earlier. So as you guys can see over here, we had the consolidation happening at this green line here, which is the New York low. Price is now at the London low, and it's consolidating down here. So it's the same pattern. You guys can see, like, if you ever look at the charts, it's just a repeat pattern of like what happened earlier. So consolidation, fake out, drop to the bottom, consolidation. Another fake out, drop to the bottom, consolidation. Um, yeah, there's not really much here. All right. Set 42 right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Unfortunately, this looks like one of those days where we're just not really going to have much. I mean, the ATR has been pretty low all day today, so it's kind of hard to expect much because there's not really been much movement, and the ATR is just getting lower. As you guys can see right here, ATR is now at 11. There's just not much volatility in the market as price continues to go side. I was really hoping we'd have some good entries today, or at least one entry. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And we're just gonna have to wait for something here to play through. But it is getting closer to 8 o'clock. So as we get closer and closer to 8 o'clock, the volatility here is just gonna get lower and lower. And we'll just have to take it as is. All right, let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. So the problem with this right here that that I think we'd probably be stuck with is even if we got the retracement, it's going to be stuck at the sessions again right here. So if this sessions wasn't here, this would be fine because we have a big area here to trade in. But because of the sessions, looks like we're just going to be stuck. Unless prices drops even more. Well, we got about 15 minutes till 8 o'clock. As you guys know, my cutoff is 8 o'clock for trades. And yeah, it's pretty much this today just sucks as a trading day in general, but these days are going to happen. When days like this happen, you just have to have control over your trade psychology, not to force any trades. Because I already know a lot of people are probably getting FOMO. I'm getting FOMO too, but I'm better at controlling it. So I'm not just going to chase any drops that happen. Because I'm pretty sure as soon as you guys see some sort of drop, like for example, right here, see this drop, as I say it, I'm pretty sure when a lot of people see this drop here, a lot of people are going to try to chase it. And I'm sure this has happened to a lot of you guys. It's hitting liquidity right there, but don't chase it. If you're too late, the liquidity was way up here, guys. So if you didn't get into this position up here, don't chase it. Because at this point, I already know some people are getting FOMO. You see the price dropping there. You're expecting it to hit the next level of liquidity right here. So what happens? A lot of people try to enter right here super late, and then it retraces up, stops them out. And then as soon as it stops them out, it comes right back down, right? So don't chase the move there, guys. I know this is like it's a breeding ground for FOMO, right? If you guys are not familiar with FOMO, FOMO is fear of missing out, right? You're fearing that you're going to miss the trade. You get in randomly at some random point down here, and then you end up blowing your account. It's just one of those things that everybody gets caught up with. So, like I said with the mentorship, I think I have a screenshot here of the what happened to it? I had a screenshot of the mentorship, but here, I'll just put it over here again real quick. All right, so for you guys who want to participate in the mentorship, let's take a second here. Well, actually, I do have a screenshot right there. Okay, so again, just a reminder for the mentorship, guys, if you guys are interested in participating in it, I only mentor like once a year. So this is the once a year time. This is probably the only time that you guys will get one-on-one mentorship from me. It's a 3-month process. Basically, for the first month, we'll be meeting after the live session. So for example, right here, we had this live session, there's no trades, right? So right after this live session, we're going to go into a private group, just us and mentoring group. And then we'll explain why there was no entries today. We'll explain the market conditions, the reasons for everything. If you guys took any trades, we're going to share the trades that you took. We're going to explain why they were good, why they weren't good. And then if you guys identified any trades but didn't actually take them, we'll look over that and review that as well. So every day for 1 month, we're going to be going over into a private group after this live session. So I know I stopped trading at 8 o'clock, but we'll go into mentoring right after that. We'll go over all the trades that we took, trades we didn't take, trades we identified. We'll input the trades into the trading journal. So as you guys know, I have a trading journal like this. I have this available to you guys. So if you guys want access to this, this is free. It's available to you guys. Just go to the Discord, go to official live trades over here. I'm going to change it to 2024 and then I have a blank template over here. So if you guys have a blank template, it's going to look like this. You'll put the date of your trade, the time of your trade, buy or sell, win, loss, profit, etc., strategy, markup notes. And we're going to basically document every single trade so that you can figure out where you're making mistakes, right? Whether it's a win or a loss, whether it's a FOMO trade. Like you can take a trade here and we'll just put FOMO, right? So you'll know in the future, don't FOMO, because that's why you keep losing trades. That's pretty much what it's going to be like for the first month. So for the first month, we'll be doing that. And then month 2, it's going to be more like taking the training wheels off. Instead of meeting every day, we're going to meet once a week. And then month 3, at that point, you should be pretty much good with your trade psychology and consistency. So instead of meeting once a week, we'll meet once every 2 weeks. And then at the end of the mentorship, we want you to achieve consistency, discipline, and profitability. So I'm basically going to be looking over your shoulder every single day for 1 month. And then for the second month, you'll have some freedom to do what you want. And then hopefully by month 3, you'll be profitable and consistent. So that's the whole game plan for the mentoring group. If I like it, I'll continue to do it, but I mean, we'll just see, because it's just more work on me. I'm not really charging extra for it. You just have to have access to the indicators for the duration of the mentorship, which is 3 months. And yeah, I mean, I could charge a lot for a program like this, but I'm not going to charge anything because I'm just doing this to help you guys out. So just make sure that you fill out the application. If you guys want to do it, just fill out the application. Even if you're not sure if you want to do it, just fill out the application, because it's better to fill it out and then for me to let you guys know whether we accept you or not, or to just think, what if, right? What if I signed up for that mentorship and I could be profitable by the end of May, right? Instead of going in circles and they just keep like blowing accounts. And you guys have seen the process. So again, there's no entries here. So don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything. Well, let me just draw that cycle again that I had for you guys the other month. So we're looking for entries here still, don't worry. But let me show you the cycle that a lot of people go through. This is a cycle that everybody goes through when they trade. They hit profitability, they get greedy, they lose trades, they go through FOMO, revenge trade, blow their account, look for something to blame. They realize that the problem was them, and they go through the cycle all over again, right? This is a common thing. So again, like I mentioned right here, profitability. Follow Sean's directions. Profitable for a while. You go over here, greed, do your own thing, create random entries, get lucky, right? Start losing trades, revenge trading, FOMO trading. This is a cycle for everybody. YOLO account, fast trades, one account, pissed off, right? And that's usually what happens, right? And then what happens here? Blame game. Blame Sean. Blame strategies. Blame market. Blame broker. Blame FTMO, right? This is everybody blame game right here. And then what happens over here? Realization, you were the problem. And then you're back into the cycle again. So this is a cycle for everybody, right? You follow my direction, you're profitable for a couple of weeks, you get greedy, you think you can do it on your own, take your random entries, you get lucky, you start losing the trades, revenge trade, FOMO trade, you YOLO your account, you just take a bunch of random trades hoping you'll make it back, blow your account, you play the blame game, you blame the live session, you blame me, you blame strategies, you blame the market, you blame the broker, and then you realize, okay, you were the problem because you got greedy and you started to do your own thing. This is where I'm trying to keep you guys at. I want to keep you in this area right here, right? Following directions, following trading plan. You don't even have to follow me, just following trading plan. Because here's the thing, if you can stay in this quarter right here in this area, you're not going to go in a circle. You're going to do this. You're going to go up, maybe go down a little bit, go up, go down a little bit, go up. You just want to stick to the game plan, right? So the whole mentorship is going to be this right here. I want to keep you guys in this upwards position. It's okay to get greedy sometimes, right? You'll go up, you'll get greedy. You'll go up, you'll get greedy. But the thing is, I want you guys to stay out of this cycle here, to never go into revenge trading and FOMO trading. Like for example, today we have no entries here, right? I'm not mad about anything. I'm okay with having no entries because I didn't have any losses. Um, but I think this is the area where a lot of people get caught up in, right? It's the greed, because you'll see how easy it is to make money trading. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, like the hardest part with trading is not making profit. The hardest part is staying profitable and not losing. Um, so that's the whole point of mentorship. I want to get you guys in this area here, maybe in just this area right here, right? And in between this area, follow directions, do your own thing, but don't take random trades, right? Following the trading plan. And then basically X out this whole uh, X this out right here so that you guys don't end up revenge trading. No more blown accounts. No more blame game, right? Blame yourself. And I mean, this is really it. It's really just following the trading plan, understanding that, you're responsible for your trades and not getting greedy. So it's super simple, guys. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have been through this a bunch of times, especially if you've done a bunch of different funded accounts. Like, the worst part is following directions here, getting funded and then getting greedy and then blowing it and then going through this again and then again and then again. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys have been part of the group. For you guys who've been part of the group for a while, I'm sure a lot of you guys have gone through this cycle, right? You join the group, you do well for the first couple of weeks, you do your own thing, then you leave for a while, you come back a month later, and you're like, okay, I should stick to the game plan this time. And then it's just the same repeated process over and over and over again. So just want to I want to get you guys to that next level. That's really what I'm doing. I'm not going to guarantee it, but if you guys can just stick to the game plan, I think me being on your guys' case for like a whole month, like, looking over here at the mentoring, if I'm on your case for an entire month, every single day, I'm like telling you, this is why you lost a trade, you revenge traded, you took some dumb trade. If I bug you about it every single day for 1 month, you're not going to do it anymore because you're not going to want to hear from me, right? You're not going to want to hear from me. You're not going to want to hear from the rest of the group because everybody's going to see what's going on. And everybody's going to be on your case. Like if you're the one that's screwing up and everybody's doing good, everyone's going to tell you like, bro, you got to stop screwing up. Like everybody here is doing well because we're following the trading plan. And if you feel that pressure, it's going to make you like, you're going to have some sort of accountability where you're not going to keep making those same mistakes. So I think this is like, obviously I don't want to be mentoring you guys for a whole 3 months, but if that's what I have to do, then I'm going to have to do this to get you guys on that level. And then hopefully, in the future, if I decide to continue this, I can just stagger groups. Like, and I could have one group going during 1 month, and then month 2, I'll start another group, and then month 3, I'll start another group, and then they'll just stagger. So every month it's going to be a new group kind of going in and getting that training and mentorship so that they don't keep screwing up. So, all right, guys, unfortunately, there's no entries here for today, as you guys can see. There's no other V1 patterns that have come up. No V1 pattern here, no V1 pattern here. The volatility is extremely low as price goes sideways. You guys can see the ATR down here at 11. It's now at 10. So we're not really expecting anything to happen here. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'll answer whatever questions we have here, and then we'll wrap this up. Again, if you guys want to participate in the mentorship, it's a small group. So hopefully we can get this group going, and then I can start another group after if I feel comfortable with continuing with this mentoring. So again, just go to the Discord, go to the team chat, fill out this form, whether you think you're going to be accepted or not. You'll never know until you fill it out. If you guys don't get accepted on the first cycle, it's fine. I'm going to keep your names on the list and you'll probably be accepted on the next cycle. So either way, you're going to have some sort of ability to take part in it. So other than that, we have some team profits here. So we've got Eunice, no trades for the day, just like me. We have Johnny over here, total profit of 950 per account on his Apex. He has 4 accounts there, so about like 4,000 almost. Here's his FTMO account. He took about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades, total profit of 2,808. All wins here. Nice work, Johnny. We have David here, total profit of 25.56, all wins as well. And we have Kenneth over here with a total profit of 600 on his first Apex, 925 on the second, 550 on 3 other accounts, and 1,100 on his 2 last accounts here for all wins. Nice work, Kenneth. All right. Oh, there's a possible entry right here, guys. So it's starting to set up. Thanks, Nick. This came up at the very last second. So we got the V1 pattern right there. See if this closes red. Gotta wait for it to actually close.
Order
Let's see.
order submitted.
So kind of entered a little late. Got on my Apex. Now I gotta watch it. Let's just review it real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. So we got a V1 pattern right here. It was a high with a green candle, followed by a red candle right here. The only problem with this here that I can kind of tell is that the momentum signal was on the second part of the V. V1, usually like that's something that we would skip because we don't want it to happen exactly on that candle. But you know, with that said, we have it lined up right here. So we'll see where this goes. Price is kind of pushing up right now. Let's see. The ATR is still very low though. So the ATR is currently at 11 right now. And we will see how this plays through. All right, let me go to the questions real quick. So let me scroll up real quick. We have Nikki's asking, when would you know who's in? So I'm going to be sending out the confirmations next week, Nikki. So the cutoff for the applications is going to be Friday. So if you want to fill in one out, just fill it out by Friday, and then I'll let you guys know by next week, because I want to start by the first week of February. So not February 1st, but the following week, that's when I want to start. And then, you know, we'll probably take it off because I want to get it started as soon as possible so that we can start the 3-month process, because it's a long process and it's going to take a lot of time for me to deal with. Another question here from Nick. I'm sorry, not from Nick, from William. William is asking a quick question. How will we be notified of acceptance? You'll be emailed. So when you fill out the application, you put your email there, and then I'll email you if you've been accepted or not. Let's see. Inder's asking, do you set a TP stop loss on Apex Tradeovate account? Yes, I do. I have a TP stop loss already set up whenever I enter the trade. So the TP stop loss is like automatically set up. Whenever I enter the trade, the TP stop loss is already there as soon as I make entry. So here he goes. Price drops a little bit. I'm gonna have to watch it because I think my entry wasn't exactly the best. So I'll watch it right here. It's at like a new low point too. Yeah, no problem, William. So guys, just a reminder, the application process will close on Friday. I'll let you guys know by next week if you guys have been accepted to the program or not. You know, again, like I mentioned, just fill it out if you guys even have any idea that you want to participate. And if you don't get accepted to this one, it's fine. You'll be accepted to the next one. I'm probably going to do one more after this because there's a lot of people who are interested, and obviously I want to give everybody an opportunity to have the opportunity to have mentorship with me. All right, I'm gonna close out my trade, guys. I got out of my position. It's already 8 o'clock. I just realized this is way past my trading time, so I'm just getting out of the position. If you guys want to hold on to it, feel free, but I'm not, this is my trading plan. I probably should have never even entered this trade because I just realized that this entry came up at 8 o'clock. So I gotta stick to my trading plan. I was gonna hold on to it and just let it play through, but I'm not gonna do that because this goes against my trading plan. Just like, you know, like I mentioned over here, I gotta set the example. So if I'm done trading at 8, I'm done trading at 8. So that's the first step right here, right? Following the trading plan. It's probably gonna hit CP, but I gotta follow my trading plan. I can't show you guys that there's any inconsistencies, because if I'm doing this and I'm following into a trade or holding on to it longer than I should, then you guys are gonna do the same thing, right? So I gotta lead by example. This is after 8 o'clock. I mean, it was literally at 8 o'clock, so it was at the cutoff time. So if you guys are still in the position, or it looks like everybody closed it. Nick closed it, everybody else closed it as well. All right, let me just post my profits real quick. I'll just post this as a partial right here. Profits real quick. All right, partial V3. Basically got half profit on it. Breakout V3. Mission. There's also a bit of a FOMO trade on my end. So let me just screenshot all my accounts over here real quick. I mean, like half profit, which could have been better, but I'll take it. All right, so here are my Apex accounts. Right here. So you can see my first account. Obviously, I got some slippage. Like I mentioned, the entry points were kind of off. That's why I had to watch it. So over here, I locked in 50 on my first account, locked in 200 on my second, 200 on my third, 200 on my fourth, 200 on my sixth, 200 on my eighth. Wait, did I count that right? Sorry. Eight accounts. So I have 8 accounts, basically locked in 200 per account, except for my first one. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 1400, 1450 on my Apex. So those are my Apex profits. And then here are my, did it hit TP? Probably did. Yeah, it's still running. Yeah, this is why I don't like trading after 8. Once it hits 8 o'clock, you see this heavy consolidation. This is why I stopped trading at 8 o'clock, because stuff like that happens. Let me just take a screenshot of my social trader tools. That's kind of laggy right here. Nick said 420 profit. Why am I like this? I mean, profit's profit. I'm happy I made some profit today because I wasn't expecting to take any trades. I was about to log off too, and then thanks Nick for the heads up with that V1 pattern. The only thing is that I didn't fully analyze it to see that it was 8 o'clock already. So once I realized it was past 8 o'clock, I was like, okay, this is not where I should be trading. And that's why I closed it out manually. Now let me put this there. And then here are my MC4 accounts. So here is my first funded engineer account locked in 1750. My FTMO I locked in 220. My second FTMO locked in 320. My personal account locked in 120. My second funded engineer, I have some issues with it, so they're kind of looking into it right now. That's the one that gave me negative yesterday, if you guys remember. So I kind of complained about it, and they're looking into it. This is my TFF locked in 162, second TFF same 162, 162, 162. So total profit for that, let me see, it is 1750. I'll just do 17. I don't need the decimals. 17, 220, 320, 220, 162, 162, 162, 162. Total profit of 1325. Okay, so total profit for the day across both of my accounts are 2,775, which is not bad. I wasn't expecting to make anything today, so I'm glad I made something. The trade here is still technically running. I'm super glad that I pulled out with all you guys because I mean the trade's still going through. Yeah, Nick said technically the V3 continuation closed at 7:59. Yeah, but the entry would have happened at 8 o'clock right here, Nick. Because the candle closed at 7:59 and then the entry would have happened at 8 o'clock. So this is already my cutoff at this point here. So it's all good. I mean, this is why we don't trade after 8. We never trade after 8 because this is what happens. Price just ends up going sideways for, forever, basically, for like another hour or so. So hopefully everybody pulled out a profit. If you guys have more profit to post up, feel free to send them in. We have some more profits over here from Andreas. He locked in 877 for the day, all wins there. We have Jonathan with a total profit of 230. We have Madhu with a total profit of 250, and that looks like about it for the day. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I mean, this is just one of those days where we got to deal with these market conditions. But other than that, I'm glad we made some profit for the day, and I'm ready to wrap this up. So, all right, guys.